One of the hardest truths to accept in dating is that some people see your value clearly and still do not treat you well. That's what makes it hurt so differently. It would almost be easier if they never saw you, if they never felt your loyalty, if they never noticed your patience, if they never experienced how deeply you cared. But that's not what happened. They saw it. They saw how understanding you were, how emotionally intelligent you were, how you listened closely, how you gave grace, how you tried to solve problems instead of creating them, how you stayed soft even when life had every reason to make you hard. They saw the safety in you, the depth in you, the consistency in you, and still, they mishandled you. That's the part people struggle to make peace with, because it creates a painful question. If they knew what I was, why didn't they rise to meet it? Because recognizing value and being capable of honoring it are two different things. A lot of people know when they've met someone rare. They feel it. They notice the difference immediately. They know you are not casual. They know your heart is not cheap. They know your presence is calming. They know your effort is genuine. They know your love is not the kind they'll find in everybody else. But knowing that does not automatically make them mature enough to protect it. That's where people get stuck. They assume awareness should lead to better behavior. They think if someone truly sees their worth, that person will naturally become more careful, more intentional, more serious. But that's not how emotional immaturity works. Emotionally immature people often do the opposite. The more real something feels, the more careless they become. Not always because they hate it, but because they are not equipped for the responsibility of something genuine. Real love requires discipline. It requires clarity. It requires honesty. It requires consistency when emotions fluctuate. It requires self-awareness. It requires the ability to think beyond impulse. And not everybody has that. Some people want to be loved deeply, but do not know how to love responsibly. They want access to your softness, but not the duty that comes with protecting it. They want your understanding, but not the self-control required to stop hurting someone who keeps understanding them. They want your peace, your loyalty, your emotional safety, while staying committed to habits that make peace impossible. And that is why good people get wasted by the wrong ones. Not because they lacked value, but because they offered value to someone who was more comfortable consuming love than sustaining it. That's the dark truth. Some people do not hold on to you because they are building a future. They hold on to you because your presence feels good to them. You regulate them. You reassure them. You soften their emptiness. You make them feel seen, forgiven, emotionally fed. And as long as you keep showing up, they keep benefiting. That does not mean they are planning to become what you deserve. It just means they enjoy what you provide. And if you are not careful, you will mistake being useful for being cherished. You will think, they keep coming back, so it must mean I matter. And yes, you do matter. But mattering to someone is not the same as being protected by them. Many people value what comforts them while still disrespecting it. Many people miss what nourishes them while still refusing to care for it properly. That's why somebody can cry over losing you and still be the one who created the loss. That's why someone can tell you you're special and still fail you repeatedly. That's why someone can admit they've never met anyone like you and still keep acting in ways that prove they are not ready for someone like you. Because emotional appreciation without emotional discipline is useless. This is where a lot of strong, loving people betray themselves. They keep thinking the other person's awareness should eventually become action. They think, if they know what I mean to them, surely they'll get it together. Surely they'll stop risking me. Surely they'll become more intentional. Surely they'll stop taking me for granted. But some people do not change when they recognize value. They just become more afraid of losing access to it. So they do the bare minimum to keep you nearby while still living below your standard. That creates one of the most painful dynamics in modern dating. You are deeply valued, but poorly treated. Wanted, but not chosen properly. Needed, but not respected enough. Appreciated in words, neglected in behavior. And that kind of contradiction can destroy your self-worth if you let it. Because now you start asking dangerous questions. Was I too available? Too forgiving? Too patient? Too understanding? Should I have been colder? Harder? More distant? Less loving? No. Your softness was never the mistake. Your depth was never the problem. Your loyalty was never too much. The mistake was offering premium access to someone who had not developed the character to handle it. That is why boundaries matter so much. Not because you need to become cruel, but because your love needs standards around it. Your heart needs protection. Your energy needs selectivity. Being a good person is beautiful. Being a good person without boundaries is how emotionally careless people keep finding a place to rest inside you. And here's the harsh truth you need to remember. Some people will absolutely know your worth and still waste you. Not because you were easy to replace, not because you were not enough, not because they were blind, but because they were selfish, undisciplined, emotionally underdeveloped, comfortable receiving what they had not earned. The power move is to stop taking that personally. Do not turn their failure into your insecurity. Do not let their inability become your self-doubt. Do not let their lack of emotional capacity rewrite how you see yourself. Because the truth is much colder and much cleaner. You were not hard to love. You were simply offered to someone who did not know how to hold real things without damaging them. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop trying to prove your worth to people who already saw it. You stop trying to get closure from people who benefited from your confusion. You stop asking why they fumbled you like it means there was something missing in you. Sometimes people waste good things for one reason only. They do not have the maturity to handle what they were lucky enough to touch. They knew your worth. They just were not good enough for what you brought.